All right, thank you guys. We are 6-2 in our last 8 $1.99 daily best plays on BrockPage.com. And if you want to access today's $1.99 daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. We're also hitting at 62% in our last 13 NBA tier package picks on that very same webpage. We currently have over 740 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on this channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. The Islanders take on the Canadiens, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop. New York's minus 135, totals 5.5. Ilya Sorokin's the expected netminder for the Isles. Jake Allen for Montreal. Allen's just 3-6 thus far in the year. Canadiens are in the bottom 10 in first period goals allowed. Now offensively, that's where these guys have really struggled. They're in the bottom 3 in scoring on average per contest. Bottom 5 in offensive shots on goal per game. Matter of fact, Montreal's second leading scorer on the team, he's a -3. Montreal scoring only 2.2 goals a game on their home ice. They're taking on an Islanders team who won 3 out of their last 5. They allow only 2.5 goals a game. Ilya Sorokin's got a 2.26 goals against average, .931 save percentage. Defenseman Adam Pelech is a +4. Now injury-wise, for Montreal, Drouin is questionable. Paquette's still out on suspension. Montreal's 4-1 to the under at home. New York's 5-2 to the under for the whole year. I'm going to lean toward the New York Islanders minus 135 and the under 5.5. Next game, Lightning Leafs, 7 o'clock East. The Toronto Maple Leafs are minus 140, totals 5.5. Jack Campbell for Toronto. Andrei Vasilevskiy for Tampa Bay. Vasilevsky's 5-2 on the season. 246 goals against average, .956 save percentage. The Lightning's in the top 3 in defensive shots on goal on the road. Meanwhile, offensively, the Lightning's in the top 10 in road scoring. Steven Stamkos has 12 points on the season. 5 goals, 7 assists for the center. Meanwhile, Alex Killorn leads the club with 7 goals on the year. He's in the top 3 in the NHL in that category. Tampa Bay averages 35 shots on goal a night when traveling. They're taking on a Toronto club who's in the bottom 10 in second period goals allowed. Meanwhile, offensively, these guys are averaging only 2.5 goals a game. Now, injury-wise, McDermott is questionable for the Leafs. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, Ruda is questionable. Bogosian and Kucherov still out. 3 out of Tampa's last 4 road games got over the number. 6-3 to the over for the whole year. Meanwhile, Toronto's gone 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Tampa Bay. I'm going to lean toward the Lightning plus $1.20 in the over 5.5. Next game, Golden Knights, Senators, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Vegas is minus 120, totals 5.5. Robin Lehner for Vegas, Anton Forsberg for Ottawa. But as much as they've struggled lately, the Sens are still in the top 5 in first period scoring at home. Norris has 6 goals thus far in the season. Batherson and Tierney with 5 apiece. Ottawa's also in the top 10 in second period scoring as well. They're taking on a Vegas crew who's in the bottom 5 in road scoring, bottom 3 in road shots on goal. Jonathan Marchessault has just 2 goals on the year, and he's a -6 when he's on the ice. Now defensively, the Knights are allowing nearly 36 shots on goal a game when traveling. Robin Lehner's just 3-5 with a .313 goals against average. Now injury-wise, Pacioretty and Stone, they're still out. They're still on the IR. Carlson and Tuck, they're still out as well. Vegas saw 4 out of their last 5 meetings with Ottawa get over the line. Meanwhile, 3 out of Ottawa's last 4 contests got over the total of 5.5 goals. I'm going to lean toward Ottawa plus $1 over 5.5. Next game, Flyers, Penguins, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Pittsburgh's minus $1.25, total 6. Tristan Jarry for the Pens, Carter Hart for Philadelphia. Hart's got a .233 goals against average, .928 save percentage. Philadelphia's won 5 out of their last 7 contests, and they allow only 2.6 goals a game on the road. Meanwhile, offensively, Philly's in the top 10 in scoring on average per game. Cam Atkinson leads the club in goals with 6 of them. Meanwhile, Sean Couturier and Claude Giroux, they have double-digit points apiece. They're taking on a Penn squad who lost their last 3 straight. And they have a bunch of guys on the injury report. Crosby, Letang, and Dumoulin are questionable. Malkin and Rust are still out. The Pens have won just 2 of 6 at home this year, and they're in the bottom 10 in home goals allowed. Now, total-wise, 4 out of Pittsburgh's last 6 home games did get over the total, 75% to the over for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward Philadelphia, plus 105 in the over 6. Next game, Red Wings, Bruins, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Boston is minus 275, totals 5.5. Jeremy Swayman for Boston, Alex Nedeljkovic for Detroit. Alex comes into today's start with a .911 save percentage. Defenseman Mark Stahl is also a plus 5. Now offensively, the Red Wings are in the top 10 in third period scoring. Tyler Bertuzzi's got 6 goals on the year, 9 total points. Tyler's also a plus 7. They're taking on a Boston club who lost 2 out of their last 3. The Bruins are scoring only 2.5 goals a game. Now defensively, goaltender Jeremy Swayman, he comes into today's game with an .893 save percentage. 2 out of Boston's last 3 home games fell under the line. They're also 5-2 to the under for the whole year. Detroit's gone 60% to the under for the whole season themselves. I'm going to lean toward Detroit plus 1.5, under 5.5 goals. Next game, Capitals, Panthers, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Florida's minus 150, total 6. Sergei Bobrovsky for Florida, Vitek Vanacek for Washington. The Caps lost 3 out of their last 5 contests. Bottom 3 in the league in second period goals allowed on the road. They're taking on a Florida team who's 8-0-1, and they're in the top 3 in home scoring. Anthony Duclair has 6 goals on the season, plus 9 when he's on the ice. And speaking of plus minus, defenseman Aaron Ekblad, he's 3rd in the NHL as a plus 10. And speaking of defense, Florida's allowing only 2 goals a game for the year. Sergei Bobrovsky's 6-0 with a .181 goals against average, .944 save percentage. Now, injury-wise, Gudas and Bennett are doubtful. Meanwhile, for Washington, Oshie and Backstrom are still out indefinitely. 7 out of Washington's last 10 meetings with Florida got over the line. And speaking of Florida, 3 out of their last 5 at home got over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Panthers, minus 150, over 6. Next matchup, Stars, Flames, 9 o'clock East. Calgary's minus 150, numbers 5.5. Jacob Markstrom for Calgary, Braden Holtby for Dallas. Despite some pretty good numbers out of Holtby, he's still just 2-3 through 5 starts. The Stars are in the bottom 5 in second period goals allowed on the road. Now offensively, Dallas is in the bottom 3 in scoring on average per game. The Stars' leading points getter, Miro Heiskanen, has just 2 goals on the season. He's also a minus 4 when he's on a shift. Dallas is currently on a 4-game losing streak. They're taking on a Calgary squad who won 6 out of their last 7 themselves. And they also lead the NHL in offensive shots on goal. Goudreau and Lindholm each have 11 points apiece. Lindholm's a plus 9. Calgary's in the top 10 in scoring on average per game. Meanwhile, defensively, the Flames allow only 2 goals per contest. Jacob Markstrom's 4-1 with a .156 goals against average, .947 save percentage. Now, total-wise, Calgary's 3-0 to the under at the Saddle Dome. Dallas is 8-1 to the under for the whole season. I'm going to lean toward Calgary, minus 150, and the under 5.5. Next contest, Sabres, Kraken, 10 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Seattle's minus 200, totals 5.5. Philip Grubauer for the Kraken, Craig Anderson for Buffalo. Anderson's 4-2 with a 249 goals against average. Anderson's also got a 921 save percentage. Buffalo's allowing only 2.4 goals a game. They're also in the top 10 in fewest third period goals allowed on the road. Offensively, Buffalo's currently in the top 10 in second period scoring. Victor Olofsson has 5 goals, 9 points on the season. Now, you will want to keep an eye on Vic as he's listed as questionable, so keep an eye on his status throughout the day. Now, they're taking on a Seattle club who lost their last 2 straight, and they also dropped 6 out of their last 8. Seattle's in the bottom 10 in goals allowed per contest. Phil Grubauer's 3-4 on the season with an .896 save percentage. Meanwhile, offensively, Seattle's scoring just 2.5 goals a game. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Seattle's last 4 home games fell under the number. Meanwhile, the Sabres are 5-4 to the under for the whole year. I'm going to lean toward Buffalo plus 1.5 and the under 5.5 goals. Next and final matchup, it is going to be Blues versus the Sharks, 10:30 East. Both teams are minus $1.10, totals 5.5. Joel Hofer for St. Louis, Aiden Hill for San Jose. Hill comes into today's contest with an .893 save percentage. San Jose is currently in the bottom 10 in second period scoring at home. Meanwhile, offensively, the Sharks are in the bottom 10 in first period scoring at home as well. San Jose's got a ton of guys on the injury report. They're taking on a St. Louis club who's 6-1 with an overtime loss thus far in the season. St. Louis is in the top 3 in road scoring. David Perron has 6 goals on this season. Tarasenko and Kyrou with double-digit points themselves. Meanwhile, defensively, the Blues allow only 2.2 goals per contest. I'm going to lean towards St. Louis minus $1.10 and the over 5.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 6-2 in our last 8 $1.99 daily best plays. I like the Islanders minus 135, under 5.5. Tampa Bay plus $1.20, over 5.5 goals. Ottawa plus $1, over 5.5. Philadelphia plus 105, over 6. Detroit plus 1.5, under 5.5 goals. Florida minus 150, over 6. Calgary minus 150, under 5.5. Buffalo plus 1.5, under 5.5 goals. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 6-2 in our last 8 $1.99 daily best plays on brockpage.com. We're also hitting at 62% in our last 13 NBA tier package picks on that very same website. I like St. Louis minus $1.10 and the over 5.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Richard Patorsky, who said yesterday, "Thanks for the picks, buddy." All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you are going to get access to that content all the way through the end of November. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.